All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Live SEO Support, your favorite live SEO live
Ooh.
stream with your two favorite live boys. I'm
Whew.
Christopher, and to my right on
This
the screen
side, I'm over
is
here.
Nicholas. How are you doing today, Nicholas?
I'm good. Me and Chris actually reversed times. He is currently in Vietnam. I am currently in Texas, and it's 10 p.m. my time. What time is it over there?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. over there. Typically, we have this show reversed, but we were just discussing it, and live stream might be at this time from at least
Yeah,
for the foreseeable future, right?
Yeah, it's going to be in the evening in American time, evening Central Standard Time. Maybe we can move it a little bit earlier, like 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. It'll really depend on you mainly. Um, but yeah, hopefully we can move it a little bit earlier. Vietnam's having some crazy trouble with their internet right now. They have these undersea internet cables that bring internet into the entire country. It's how Vietnam is connected to the rest of the world. And over the past couple of years, they've been like losing them. They say like sharks bite through them, but I think everyone thinks that's BS and not true. They're just crappy and don't have the money to repair it or something. But anyway, they're down to one of these cables now, I believe, which is kind of crazy considering most countries have like more than 20 of them. Uh,
Living on the
so we're
edge,
we're hanging on by a thread here. If that last one goes
literally.
down, that might be the last time you ever see me. I don't even know how I'll get out of here. Guess I'll just have to do things the old
Mm,
school way and call a cab with a telephone and go to the airport and book a ticket like that. I don't even know.
weird
But I guess
times.
if the internet goes down in the entire country, the international, like if their international connection goes down to the rest of the world, like what's that even going to look like? I assume everything's just going to plunge into chaos if that happens. If they're,
Oh my God, we don't have internet. How did we do
well,
this
everything's connected
before?
like
But yeah,
globally now, like all the
yeah,
financial
government-wise.
stuff. And I don't know, it just seems like it would be a kind of a big deal if they were just like, just severed from the rest of the world one day. I don't
I
even
would
know,
think
like, how
so,
would the
yeah.
airport work, for example? How would all this information that they're receiving, I don't know. It just seems like maybe I'll just die, I don't know, I'll get killed or something.
Vote one to get Christopher out of Vietnam before chaos ensues.
Hopefully those
Vote
sharks
two
don't
to
get
let
that
him
last
die.
cable. But until then,
Yeah, right.
yeah, we'll do the live streams in the evening for a bit. It's just for the next month. Actually, it's only for like the next like 3 weeks or so. So yeah, maybe three more live streams. After that, I'll be in Kuala Lumpur for a month. So if you know anyone in Kuala Lumpur, if
Nice.
you're in Kuala Lumpur, you know any SEOs there, you want to meet up, you want to talk shop, let me know, and we can do that. I'd love to meet anyone out in KL while I'm there.
I
Um,
lived there back in the day as a child.
in
Fond
KL, or were you
memories.
somewhere else?
Yeah, KL and Kurte.
Cool. Um, Yeah, I've been to KL before, but I don't believe I was there for too long. I just remember I loved the street food. I just thought the street food
Mm,
was like incredible. But I was also coming off of like being in India for a while, and so KL
yeah.
just seemed like paradise.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, depending on the part of India for sure.
but yeah, I remember amazing street food, and then I think I went to Penang, which I think a lot of people say just go to Penang instead of KL, but this time
Hmm,
around we're just going to be doing KL. Maybe next time we'll do Georgetown, Penang. Or I could just do a little weekend trip or whatever if I feel like it. But yeah, pretty excited for
nice.
Malaysia. A lot of people think it's boring. That's okay. I'll just lock myself in the apartment and work for a while and enjoy good street food, right?
Nice.
Um, but yeah, let's see what's going on here. Matt says, "Hey guys, I approve of this new live stream time. It's 3 p.m. here in Australia. It's a perfect time for me."
Okay.
Awesome, Matt. Yeah, we don't know how many people are going to show up to the stream because it all kind of happened on the fly. There was no planning, and people are
Yeah.
used to the other time. So if you have any questions at all, doesn't matter how stupid or small or whatever, just go ahead and ask them, and we'll get to them. Because yeah, we're not really sure how many people are going to show up to this thing. But we've got some audits to do. We've got some questions in our backlog that we need to get answered. So we'll go ahead and start there, Nick, unless there's anything else you'd like to talk about. Oh,
No, let's. Ooh.
we recorded the
Oh
Kyle Roof
gosh.
podcast yesterday.
Oh yeah, right.
We talked
Yeah,
with
that's a
Kyle
big
Roof
one. That was
about
really good.
lorem ipsum content, ranking trash junk in 2023. We talked about EEAT and not getting hit by algorithmic penalties because you're lazy. We talked about artificial intelligence and the future of SEO. And yeah, it was just a good time. I think it was a really good podcast, and we
Yeah.
really tried to ask him a bunch of stuff we hadn't heard him talk about before. So um, yeah, should be some nugs in there, some clarification. Should be a good watch, and hopefully I'll be posting that up in the group and the mailing list on YouTube tomorrow, Thursday American time.
Nice.
All right, so yeah, let's get going. All right. Do you want to start with an audit, or let's start with the
Yeah,
smaller
we can
stuff
do
first?
that. Up to you.
So this one was in our group. I wanted to talk about it on stream too. Hey guys, has a spam Google update changed your strategy, and how do we combat that? So there were actually two spam updates within a couple weeks of each other, I believe, within the same month. I think they were both in December of 2022, if I'm remembering right. Um, One of them seemed to target content specifically, and one of them seemed to target backlinks. Because when you talk about spam, it doesn't necessarily just mean backlinks. So yeah, the first one looked like it targeted content, and it was essentially just content that people are starting to pump out AI content. I'm not saying AI content itself is the problem, but pumping out this kind of like useless content that doesn't really add any value and has like a lot of probably has a lot of like either factual errors or it's just like super basic and doesn't really bring anything new to the conversation. And I think a lot of this stuff as well, they weren't even like taking like the bare minimum steps to really like optimize it well and things like that. Just treat it like a normal piece of content that you're putting on your site to that you actually want to rank and that people actually want to read. Images, all that stuff. Just treating it like real content. So I think that's what the first one was about, and the second one seemed to target backlinks, and basically,
Um,
what's up?
Facebook video signal looks like it's lost.
We'll see if it catches up. Looks like YouTube is still going okay. Looks like it might be. Oh, geez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi guys, give us 1 second if you're still watching.
Fucking last cable just got split.
YouTube looks like it's still going.
Maybe we just do a YouTube show.
Um, it looks like Caster's going in. I think it's just probably hitting some lag or something. Well, that sucks. Um, I guess what we're gonna have to do is just we'll keep recording and just get to our backlog questions as far as getting for YouTube videos. We'll keep an eye
Okay.
on the live stream to hopefully it'll start working again. Um, yeah, YouTube looks like it's going again. It might just kind of buffer every now and then. Looks like Caster is going again. Facebook's going again. Okay. But anyway, yeah, sorry guys. Technical difficulties. Vietnam internet sucks. But anyway, when we chop the videos up and put them up on YouTube, they'll be fine. Um, so yeah, first spam update was about the content. So basically, I wasn't doing any like low effort content anyway, so I didn't really change anything there. And then the second spam update was dealing more with backlinks. And yeah, as far as I can tell, it was just targeting the really low quality stuff. Saw a little bit of movement in some sites, but everything I saw, it's not like they were getting algorithmic penalties. It was like they were just saying like, okay, these links that you have, we're not counting them anymore. And so a site would like lose, just 10% of its, rankings or traffic or whatever, or 20%, something like that. Or if it's like a really bad one, maybe it would lose like, 70 or 80% or something, but it would never really go to like bottoming out. It's just like this, all the stuff that you have there, we're not counting anymore. And boom, this is where you should be. At least that's how I kind of felt like it played out. But yeah, I mean, as far as links go, that's not stuff that we like to build anyway. So as far as the spam updates go, I haven't really changed anything that I'm doing. How about you, Nick?
No, nothing has changed. And if you remember, I even had like a site early on that got popped, or it looked like, it lost quite a lot of traffic,
Uh-huh.
and you were wondering if I was going to do anything about it, and it was like, well, no. Business as usual. I'm not really doing anything too crazy as far as being spammy goes. I was doing some stuff that was a little bit I guess, out there, but nothing that I'd really think warranted being too worried. But a lot of that, oftentimes comes with just time in SEO. You kind of get used to a lot of volatility, and before freaking out, you kind of just let it settle. And sure enough, once the next update happened, everything came back, and now it's actually popping back up. And business as usual. I haven't changed anything on that game plan.
But
So,
that was quite a ways before the spam updates, right?
I don't think so. It was
Yeah, it
the
was,
last
because
couple,
you'd
right?
already recovered by the spam updates. You got hit a while back.
Mm.
Um, did you well, I guess your seems like your sense of time is a little off. I was going to ask if you know if you had anything that got hit by the spam updates, but I don't know if you can. I don't think you did then, or else you would have
I
talked about it by
I
now.
mean, no, everything's been ripping for like the last month or so.
Yeah.
I could have sworn it was the first one. No,
No, no,
first.
no, no, because they were like in the same month. You got what you got hit by was like a major core algorithm update. Um,
Mm,
yeah, I can't remember. It was like months and months ago. Yeah,
mm,
I'm 100% sure. These two, you can go ahead and pull it up in Ahrefs and look at the dates and look on the new overview, and it'll have the little A at the bottom. It tells you like when the updates happened and what they were. Um, but yeah, yeah. So I'm not changing much. I was never into low quality content stuff. I was never into low quality links. So if you just stay away from those things, you'll be fine. Don't spam, don't spam content, don't spam links.
mm.
Pretty much as simple as that. Um,
Or if you're gonna do it, do it strategically
I would
and
actually like to talk to some black
hide
hat
it.
SEOs. If you're a black hat SEO and you were doing a lot of like automated link building, go ahead and get in touch with us, because I'd actually like to just talk to you, pick your brain a bit, and see how things are going as far as automated link spam content goes. I know some people like to play with that. It's not something I do, but I do kind of I'm interested in it, and I respect it. It's its own game. But yeah, hopefully that.
Yeah, so I got hit. Okay, yeah, I mean, my sense of time is a bit off,
Yep.
but well, it started, but yours is off too. It started September, right? So that's when I started getting pretty popped.
Yeah.
Then the first spam update was October,
Okay.
2022. And then I'd had like it looked like it was coming back up, and then that spam one hit and it tanked it. I'm looking at the graph right now. I'm like, that's
The
pretty
October
fucking
one made
low.
it worse.
Yeah,
So they were
and
hitting low
then
quality content on your stuff.
it bottomed out and ripped back up, and then December helpful content ripped up, and then December spam update ripped up as
So
well.
December helpful content, I think, was kind of like a correction update. So
Mm,
that was probably helping you out, because they probably like overdid it a bit, and they're like, oh, let's dial it back a bit.
yeah,
Because everyone was
and
really
I
freaking out
remember
about that.
that's kind of what we talked about. It was like, well, I mean, I'm not doing anything too nefarious here, especially with the
Yeah.
backlinking. I was doing some auto-generated content type stuff, and then I had a bunch of orphan pages.
Yeah.
But that didn't make up the bulk of that website either, so I wasn't too tremendously worried about it.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
All right. And then the link spam update was in December though, wasn't it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
Looks like two in December, helpful content, and then link spam.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. Matrix Mindset says LMFAO. The Sharks got the last one. I'm praying the Sharks do not get the last one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
let's
start
hope
throwing
not.
some meat in the river. We gotta protect this cable at all costs, or I'm screwed, boys.
Get yourself a scuba license. Get in there.
All right. Let's say you have two guest posts. One has 70 DR and the other has 40 DR. Will you send the higher one to the homepage, or the higher one to the article, or both to the article? It's gonna kind of depend on. It's gonna kind of depend on what your what links you already have built. Like how many links does the page already have? How many links does your homepage already have? Stuff like that. I generally, and this is kind of like a personal preference, but I like to send a lot of the super high authority stuff to the homepage. I think Nick's got to run away and take care of his baby for a second. He doesn't have a babysitter right now. Um, but yeah, that's just kind of a personal preference. But you can do really either way. Our link building strategy, what we focus on the most and what we tell people they should do because we think it's safe and effective for long-term link building, so you won't have any problems, is we like to build the majority of links to the homepage. So basically, if you go up and you look up any natural website in Ahrefs and go and pull up best pages by links and go and sort it, you can click the filter for like, I think it's like 200 okay, so you filter out the junk or whatever, and you sort it by, the pages that have the most backlinks, most referring domains. You would normally see the homepage is number one, homepage is king. We normally like to do, when you're looking at like overall links built, probably 50% or more of the links built, we like to build to the homepage. So, these inner pages, we're just kind of sprinkling links in every now and then and not going too hard on them. Part of the reason is because the more links you do on these inner pages, the more unnatural it is. Especially so if you go into a SERP and you look and you see, everyone else's inner page only has like 1 or 2 links or even 0, and they're just ranking off overall domain authority. And then you're coming in and you've got like 20 links, and that's like, and you're not even ranked at the top. It's super unnatural. And so, yeah, it's for that reason we like homepage link building. But yeah, if the page has some room for links and it's not going overboard or whatever, you can do really whatever you want. But just kind of a personal preference, I like to do a lot of the higher authority stuff to the homepage. What do you like to do, Nick?
I missed a lot of what you were saying. I thought little
I
boy
just talked
woke up,
about
but
I talked about our preference for homepage link building and why,
yeah.
and then my personal preference of I like to send a lot of the super high authority stuff to the homepage. Although I do send it to inner pages as well. I just probably send more of it to the homepage for sure.
Yeah, I feel typically I'm sending higher authority to the homepage as well. The way that Chris and I have talked about building sites over the last few years since we started the show, I mean, it's kind of always been the same. If you build out a big old authority site, you're kind of focused on content, you're hammering the homepage with links, that's going to trickle down and give you an effect where, less becomes more whenever you're hitting or targeting those inner pages. So, typically then you can get away with using, the cheaper stuff or stuff that's not quite as strong towards an inner page and see a lot more improvement in the SERPs with less.
But yeah, go ahead and look at your competition first. For some articles, it's very natural for them to attract a shit ton of backlinks. For you could go look at some like Backlinko articles, for example. He puts out some like link bait articles, and people go nuts about it and just send like thousands of links to a single article. And that's completely normal. I mean, it happens naturally. That's why he builds them. They're
Yeah.
link bait articles. But yeah, if you go to the SERP and you check the competition and see how many links the articles that are already ranking are getting, you can kind of base your decision off that. And in most cases, a lot of these articles, a lot of these pages don't get a ton of links. And I was going to say one more thing I would add is I also like to send high authority stuff to like hub pages. A hub pages would be something that links out to a bunch of other content. So a good example of this could be like a category page, or like your blog page, something like that. Or maybe you have an article that's kind of like a pillar content piece, and it's like it's a guide to do, for example, a guide to do on-page, a guide to do SEO overall even. And then it's like, it has a little blurb about each one, then it's linking to on-page SEO, then it links to off-page SEO, then it links to technical SEO, something like that. These can be like really good targets to kind of spread that authority juice all around. Yeah. Anything else, Nick?
No, I think that's good.
Cool. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, let's go ahead and grab one from over here. And then after this one, we might have time for some audits. Guys, if you have any questions at all, it's going to be a kind of a slow stream today because we changed the time on the fly. So if you have any questions at all, it doesn't matter how stupid they are, doesn't matter how small they are, just
There's no stupid questions, okay?
except the
There's
really
you just
stupid
you go.
ones.
Yeah, there are stupid. We've been asked to. Yeah.
All right. Um, can you share your experience on the SEO budget for a small business owner? How much should a website owner allocate for link building and content creation? And which type of links a site with 200 plus pages and ranking for competitive terms on SERPs without link building should focus on first? Well, let me read that last sentence again. And which type of links a site with 200 plus pages and ranking for competitive terms on SERPs without link building should focus on first? Okay, so he's got a 200-page site. He's already ranking for competitive terms without doing any link building of his own. So he's probably attracting some natural links if they're competitive. SEO budget for a small business owner. Okay, so don't got a lot of money. And yeah, just wants to, I guess, balance the budget versus link building versus content creation. Yeah, so if you're doing well for competitive terms already, I would, it makes me just want to say dump most of the money into content creation. But it's gonna depend on basically how much of your topical map you've already covered. And topical map, we just basically mean all the different questions, all the different content that you could basically create around your topic. And in most cases, people haven't finished their topical maps. I don't know what your niche is, but 200 plus pages could either be you've covered everything, or it could be you have thousands of more articles that you could potentially write. So you're gonna have to do a little research there and figure out how much content you have left to write. But yeah, if you're already ranking for competitive stuff, I would probably allocate most of it towards content creation and still build links, but probably just yeah, more towards content. Am I missing anything here, Nick? What do you think?
No, yeah, I would agree with that. In regards to budget for a small business owner, this is something that's subjective business owner to business owner. You've got to decide how much you want to put into SEO itself, because as a business owner, you've got, any number of opportunities to spend cash to try and get traffic to your website. SEO can be a part of that. Ads can be a part of that. Maybe running, marketing campaigns in the real world can be part of that, etc. So you've kind of got to decide, here's where I'm currently at. Now, since your website is already doing really well, you've got 200 plus pages, you're ranking for competitive terms with no backlinking. I would say, you could probably do a decent amount towards the SEO budget without having to worry about your ROI suffering, right? Like a newer business that just started a website, is ramping up, maybe isn't getting any money back from, search queries, might want to, tread a little bit lighter until they kind of like get a foothold. But for a website like you, where you already know that you're doing well, you can monetize that traffic, then really it's up to you, how high you go with that budget. But you're going to want to decide for yourself, what percentage of your revenue stream do you use back towards advertising and marketing, and then how much of that advertising and marketing budget is going to be, directed specifically at SEO as well. Like Chris said, I think I'd go heavier on the content creation side. And typically, that's what we say we do, all the time. Um, and then in regards to the last
Especially once
question,
you get to like a certain authority level. It's like once
yeah,
you've like built your links and you're like, all your shit's just getting indexed right away. You like put up a new
yeah, just like
article and it's
boom,
on like
boom,
the top
boom.
of page two or already on page one, like within a week or whatever. At that point,
Yeah,
it's like, okay, let's just pump the content, keep the train moving, and you can still slowly keep building authority, but you don't got
yeah.
to really focus on it as heavily
Well,
anymore.
yeah, and with backlinking, I mean, like, it's exactly what we were talking about the last question. Less becomes more. As your site is a bigger authority site, it's ranking quicker, you're kind of moving along. Let's say you're getting, to the bottom of page one, top of page two really easily. Okay, cool. Well, then you might only need, 2 to 3 links to really move up in the SERPs. Now, in regards to that last question, and based off that, I'd say, for a site like yours, probably just going with higher quality links, guest posts, niche edits, editorial style links, stuff like that, is where I would go with the budget. assuming that you've already done some sort of pillowing. And even then,
Yeah.
if you want to, and let's say you haven't done any pillowing, well, go ahead and do that just so you can, diversify your anchors a little bit, and just have a good foundation to kind of jump off of.
Yeah, I realize we kind of answered the question a little bit wrong. I think Nick got a little bit closer to the true intent of the question, which he was asking basically how much should I spend on SEO versus like how should I
Yeah, we can.
allocate it. Um, and yeah, we can't really answer that. It's going to depend on your niche. It's going to depend on, basically how much money you can make potentially in the niche versus how much you're already making. And then like what I was talking about before, like basically how much of your topical map have you not covered? Basically how much work is there left to do? And
Yeah.
let's be real, most people have a lot of room, most people are not at the end of their SEO endeavors, and you can basically always keep doing SEO. Um, but
I
yeah,
gotta put the boy down.
that's
But
fine.
before we jump, like for our managed link building, for example, though, we floored it at $500 because we know that is a very affordable budget, even for like very small businesses to get started on, right? But we also know that it's enough to move the needle. So in that regard, we can't tell you how much to spend, but we kind of thought up, what a baseline would be for the average consumer of
A bare
backlinks.
minimum.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily a bare minimum. Depends on the site. Depends on what you're building. Um, yeah, hopefully that helps. Let's see what else we got here. Alexis. And yeah, guys, kind of a slow stream today. We've got a bunch of uh, questions and audits in our backlog, but if you have any questions at all, go ahead and ask them. We changed the stream time today, so we're just not really sure how many people are going to show up, but it looks like a decent amount of people are here. But yeah, any questions at all, go ahead and just drop them in the chat. What's the average cost and time period to get an affiliate website up and running in the finance niche and generating say, $300 a month? Just wanted a rough benchmark to keep in mind. Thanks. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna give you the answer you don't want. So the answer you don't want is that it sounds like you're just getting into SEO and affiliate marketing, and just because of the question you're asking. And so, because you're asking this question, I would say that it's going to take you a minimum of a year and a half or 2 years to start making decent money. And that's if you really stick with it and are doing everything doing everything correctly. But in the real world, everyone makes problems. There's a ton of information out there, and there's all this like little stuff with SEO. Once you understand it all, it becomes actually really simple. But until you get to that point where it all really starts to click, you're just you start going off on these tangents and wasting your time doing stuff that's not important and doing stuff incorrectly and having to redo things. And it just ends up being a lot of wasted time. And it can take people a good amount of time, a lot longer than you would think to start making money. And especially longer than, all the material on the internet that's like, hey, come do affiliate marketing. It's a great easy way to make money at home. I think it probably has like a 90 or 95% failure rate where people get started, they run into some problems, and instead of trying to work through them, they just quit and go back to their focusing on their day job or looking for something else to make money with. And then to answer your question a little bit more in depth, if this was, it's really going to depend on the niche a lot. You're saying finance. Finance is generally a much more competitive niche. That's not to say there are not sub niches of finance that you could get into with lower competition keywords and rank a lot quicker for. But in general, finance is a much more competitive niche. And it could take some time. If you're starting on a new site, you're not starting on an age domain or an expired domain. It could really take some time to build up your site's authority to be able to compete for the terms that you want to compete for to start making money. But if you're good at keyword research and you've really discovered kind of this like untapped segment or whatever, I would say Again, it's gonna kind of depend on like how experienced you are, because if you're like super experienced and you come out of the gates really hard with you're doing press releases, maybe you're even doing a 301 redirect, you start building some super authority to your homepage, and at the same time you've researched your topical map and you've got a team of writers and you're pumping out content. I mean, you could start making $300 a month if you're doing all that stuff. You can start making $300 a month pretty quick. You could probably do it within 3 months, 4 months. I mean, you probably do it even a little bit faster than that if you get a little bit lucky. It all kind of really depends on Google. But in general, I'd say I think the average for people to start making money with a site, even if they know what they're doing and they maybe just don't go super hard on backlinks and maybe they don't have like a crazy team of writers pumping out tons of content, then I think like 6 months to a year is a little bit of a more realistic estimate. Again, starting on fresh domain and yeah, not with like a super team behind you and maybe not knowing exactly what you're doing. Could be, just the more experience you have, the quicker it goes. And yeah. So yeah, Nick's not here. I was hoping to get his opinion on this, but I'm pretty sure he'll just agree with me. So yeah, I'm not going to wait any longer for him. I'll go ahead and just cut the question there. Hopefully that helps. All right, let's see what we got next. All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and jump into a site audit. If any of you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. Again, slow stream, weird time. Yeah, any questions at all, just drop them in the chat and we'll get to you. But yeah, I'm gonna pull up one of the site audits we've been meaning to get to for a while and get started on that for now. And hopefully Nick gets back soon, so I have someone to talk to. I'm getting lonely. Let me pull this up in Ahrefs for you guys, and I'll give you a traffic screenshot to look at. Yeah, I'm in Vietnam right now, and they're down to one internet cable for the entire country, one underwater internet cable. Apparently they're getting eaten by sharks. So Ahrefs right now is taking a long time to load. I'm staring at a white screen. I know it's eventually going to load, but taking a little time. That's weird. I don't know why our stream just jumped up to 23 viewers out of nowhere. Normally average right around like 10 or something. But welcome to the stream, new people. You get to watch me wait for Ahrefs to load because Vietnam is down to one underwater internet cable that's getting eaten by sharks. So hopefully this is entertaining for you to sit and stare at me for a second while I'm waiting for Ahrefs to load and my co-host is not here, but putting his baby to sleep. Here, I'm gonna answer this question from Alexis while I'm waiting for Ahrefs because I don't know how long it's gonna take. This is getting really annoying. I'm surprised this stream is even still working. Do you think rank and rent is a viable strategy in 2023? Yeah, sure, why not? If you're still there, can you think of any reason why it would not be viable in 2023? It's actually not something that I have much experience with. I know a couple guys that are doing it. Don't really talk to them too often. It's just not really kind of the area that I focus on. But yeah, I don't really see anything that would have changed that would make it not viable in 2023. People always want leads. I've heard, a lot of people complain about it being just a difficult business model. But then there are some people that's like their jam, that's like their entire business model. So it's definitely a thing. But yeah, as far as I know, it's still going good. Just not what I would choose to do. If you want to know what I would choose to do for 2023, local SEO is always a sure bet. It's not what I like to do, but there's basically just an unlimited amount of opportunity there. But then you have to deal with clients and whatnot. Okay, Alexa says, I want to start SEO projects, but I'm skeptical of how easy they make it sound. Yeah, so that's the deal with a lot of the SEO information on the internet is they make it sound like, oh, you're gonna just start doing SEO, working from home, make money on the internet, life is gonna be great. Which, a lot of that is possible. You can do that. Just going to take some focus and some work. But yeah, I think where I would start if I were you is just kind of keep looking around. Keep asking questions like you're doing. Kind of look into everything. Local SEO, you're going to have to deal with clients all the time, and they're normally like business owners that don't know anything about SEO, which can be a good or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. But if you don't want to deal with clients all the time, for example, like myself, I don't want to be having these conversations explaining what I'm doing all the time and that kind of thing, then it might not be for you. You've also got to do sales in a more, especially before you've built up your brand, you got to do sales in a little bit more of an aggressive way. You can be doing cold calling or cold emailing, you're pitching people, sending them little video audits or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a different game, and especially getting started, you're gonna have to do that all yourself, which is something to think about. Rank and rent's a little bit different because you can basically just focus on ranking the website, getting it up to the top, and then renting it out to a local business or whoever else, whatever kind of industry you're in. But then, yeah, at the same time, you're gonna have to find someone that wants to rent it. And I've heard that the way you go through getting these deals and setting it all up can be a bit of a pain in the butt, and it's just not something I have much experience in, so I can't really talk too much on it. Then of course you got affiliate marketing. Affiliate terms are more like national. So there can be a lot more competition in affiliate marketing, which for that reason, a lot of people say, it's not exactly a good way to go to get started. However, it's affiliate is pretty much like what I love. I think affiliate is super cool. Or just like basically, targeting national or international terms and either doing like affiliate or digital products or a newsletter or something like that. But yeah, all these things are inherently more competitive because of yeah, you're not operating in one small like location, like one city or whatever. Um, what else am I missing? My brain just kind of went blank. Affiliate. You could do like ads as well. When a lot of people talk about niche sites, might be talking about affiliate, or you can be talking about doing an ads-based site. Uh, Ads-based sites got a lot more popular over the past year. But one thing that I will tell you to be careful of, because of recent events, is a lot of these ad sites, the way they get traffic is going off of answering questions. So affiliate content tends to be more about like reviews or product comparisons, things like that. Those are the money articles. You can still have like informational articles as well. But these ads-based sites that don't go for these affiliate terms, they usually go for these very simple answers. And the problem with that in 2023, and we don't really know exactly what's going to happen yet, but the problem with that in 2023 is that with Bing integrating ChatGPT, and now Google looks like they're integrating Bard, these two AI answering platforms into their platform, that a lot of these informational searches could be solved very easily without anyone having to click through to your website. So if I had an ads-based website right now, if the most of my revenue was coming from ads and this was the kind of content I was producing, I'd be a little bit nervous right now. I'm not gonna lie. I would, if I was doing ads-based SEO, I'd be more nervous than anyone else I think should be at this point, because I think those are the things that are really in the direct crosshairs of these AI tools. So yeah, Nick, just to catch you up, she was asking about rank and rent in 2023, if it's a good strategy. But the real question was, basically, if you're getting started in SEO, what kind of SEO should you get into? So I talked about local a bit, talked about rank and rent a bit, talked about affiliate, we talked about ads, we talked about what else did I talk about? I didn't talk about ecom. You could do ecom as well. Um, what else did I talk about? There was one more I talked about. Anyway, whatever. What do you think? What do you think's like a
Well,
good easy strategy to go with for a
I'll tell
beginner?
you this, everybody wants to start at rank to rent, or maybe not everybody, but a large portion of people. I know that I did when I got started in SEO. And I know that if I could go back and tell myself at that point in time, I'd say stay away from rent to rent as a business model, at least when you first start out. Because what happens is you're going to spend resources, not only just money, but time and energy in building out these assets, ranking them. Now it's harder to get in the map pack. There are different things you can do, like get post office addresses and stuff like that. But then ultimately, you've got this asset that's generating leads once you get it there, which is going to take a while. And then you've got to call the blue collar people that might want to buy these leads. And it's a lot harder than you might think. A lot of people want to stay off the phones. They don't want to go the local route because they don't want to do outreach towards businesses that already have, their footing. Because especially like if you're cold calling, then it's a lot of work and it's hard to take no repeatedly. But the reason I'd say it's better than rank to rent is because even though you'd imagine that, okay, well, I've already got this asset that's generating leads in a certain niche. Somebody's bound to want those, right? You're calling people who are going to be skeptical, and maybe people that just hadn't even considered it being something that they wanted. And to a lot of people, really generating revenue off Google search is kind of a foreign concept. I know as marketers that seems insane to us, but I know before I ever got into SEO, I remember when I first started working for the company and, I found out what they did, or the company that I got my start in, and I found out what they did, I was like, well, I don't really understand how that, makes them money. Anyhow, long story short, it's easier to go after somebody that's already got a budget, right? Like, and they
Yeah, they have the
already
money.
know that they want to do this and they already know that there's value there. So even though it's harder to find that person up front, it's going to be better because then you're using a bankroll that comes into you. You're starting with some profitability
Yeah,
as well,
that's how I
and
started.
then you can kind of roll it into helping this business. A lot of times they're already going to have a website as well, so they've got age behind them, etc. I would personally go that route over rank to rent. Now, there
Yeah.
are people that do rank to rent in 2023. So is it a viable option? Sure, it is. Would I say it's like the preferred method that I would go after?
Yeah, the
Absolutely
point
not.
about budget is huge because when you do local, yeah, you're playing with other people's money versus you're doing rent to rent. You're gonna have to finance this whole thing yourself, and
Right.
then you're not gonna see any income until you rank it to a high enough position that's so good that other people are like, I'll pay for that. So
Yeah.
not only are you not going to be making this entire money this entire time, but you're going to have to get it high enough on your first, you're just getting into SEO, you're going to have to get it high enough to where people are going to actually want to pay for it. Versus on local, it's other people's money, it's their budget. So you don't have to finance any of this stuff, and you'll be able to still be getting paid as they make incremental gains and stuff like that. It's how I got started in local, and then kind of very quickly switched over. I didn't stay in local too long before I started going for the more like national kind of affiliate type stuff. But it's definitely, you're working on smaller sites, you're working with someone else's money. It's so much, local is so much easier. There's just so much less to think about. There's a few extra things like, yeah, you got your GMB. Yes, you need citations. Yes, I have to put the address on the site. But let's be real. Local is easy. Local's easy. All you local guys out there, you got easy jobs and you know it. Um, I'm kind of joking. Of course, there's like competitive local stuff as well. Lawyer in LA. That's going to be some competition there. But yeah, just in general, it's a lot more manageable for your first time around. And then you could look into doing something else. Affiliate ads, e-com, digital courses, whatnot. Any of that kind of stuff you could look into, email list down the line.
Yeah, but a lot of people, that get into local and really like, start an
Hmm.
agency that starts running. I mean, that's their bread and butter, and that's where they
Hmm.
stay. And it's because it's a cash
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can make a
it
shit ton
can
of money.
be.
Look at Neil
Hmm.
Patel. Neil Patel, who we don't talk about too often because we don't really agree with a lot of his SEO advice. But Neil Patel has built a nine-figure agency, which of course, they don't do they do everything, not just local. But I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he started local, kind of smaller stuff. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's always new money in local. It's always there, and it's someone else's money, and uh, so you're always getting paid versus like an affiliate or anything else. It all depends on how good you do and blah blah blah. Versus local, you could just always get new clients and yeah. So yeah, I would advise starting in local. Rank and Vret, definitely viable, but yeah, maybe not a good starting point. And then you can choose if you like local or if you want to do something else. All right. Um,
I don't know how long I can fend him off. He's got a little bit of a fever, it seems.
okay. Well,
It's going to be a sick day
we're
tomorrow.
almost over anyway. Um, what link should I consider? 30 plus keywords are on the second page, so the DR is really low because I just wrote those keywords and they are already on the second page. Thinking of 10 because thinking 10 thinking of
Backlinks
10
per
BC per
keyword.
keyword or FL. Joshua, if you're still here, let us know what you mean by 10 BC per keyword or FL. Not really sure what that means at all. Um, yeah, so if your DR blog comments or forum links, he says, okay, blog comments or forum links.
Oh,
So yeah, we actually like blog comments and forum links. You'll see other people shit on them, uh, poop on them. Sorry, uh,
well,
but but I'll go somewhere with it. Anyway, we like to use them for pillowing, basically creating a diverse mix of backlinks. Um, but we do not really consider these things to be like the really powerful links that are really going to like push you forward in the rankings. We just consider them kind of like pillow links, which is stuff to help add diversity, add some naturalness, and they can do some stuff for your rankings as well. But you want to really make sure they're relevant, relevant forums, relevant blog comments, and that they're not spammed out. Especially with the blog comments, not getting from spammy pages. What were you gonna say, Nick? Before I go on?
just that. So blog comments and forum links, you're typically going to use, like Chris said, and not typically, like you should just use them as pillow
Yeah.
links, meaning you're going to do like branded anchors, naked anchors, stuff like that. If you're talking about trying to target keywords using
Yeah, we
forum
normally send
links
homepage.
and blog
Well, forum links
comments,
you can do.
that's a bad idea. Yeah, you could with forum links. I wouldn't use money
Yeah.
anchors in there. I think that'd be
Yeah.
kind of a waste. But
URL anchors.
you could do inner page. With blog comments, it's not natural. You're typically not going to be able to get a backlink in a blog comment unless it's the username, right? Which the anchor text would be either the brand or the name of whoever's the author for the website, whatever.
Hmm.
And that would just point back at the
Yeah.
homepage. It's not natural to see that point to an inner
Nope.
page, never mind 10 going to, 5, 6, 200 inner pages, all kind of, I mean, like it's going to end up looking very spammy. I think if Google were to crawl those, and there's not many of them, it'd probably just mainly get ignored. Yeah, so I wouldn't advise trying to target keyword or anything money anchor wise with those two types of links. They're pillow
But yeah, so it
links.
sounds like, he's saying his DR is really low because he just put the content up, but they're already on the second page. So it makes me think that your content's actually pretty
Yeah.
good, which is cool. Google knows what it's about, and Google said like you're kind of like in the race already. You're already in the competition to get on page one, which is pretty good. Unless they're in the honeymoon stage and then they decide your content sucks later, which they can do sometimes. But in general, let's go ahead and just say that your content is good. So yeah, if you want to raise the DR of your site, you want to raise the authority of your site. We don't really care about what your DR is, but in general, you want to raise your site's authority. And yeah, so the links that we do that kind of stuff with are guest posts, niche edits, haro links. And you can use PBN links as well, but I'm going to go ahead and just not recommend PBN links to you. I'll go ahead and just say stay away from PBN links at this point. It seems like you're pretty, you might be kind of newer to SEO. It's more of an advanced tool. It's a black hat tool. You can get yourself in trouble using PBN links if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, I would just say stay away from those. But in general, what you're looking for are editorial type links. You know, it's a kind of a blog type website, and they have an article that's related to something about your topic, and then you have a link to your website in there. You know, guest posts, those come from new articles being posted on sites. Niche edits, it's just an article that already exists, and you're convincing the webmaster to edit a link in to your website in their article that's already there. Haro is where reporters ask questions, and if they like your answer, they'll usually link from their website to your homepage with your branded anchor, or sometimes your name. That's free, but it takes time. You got to answer the questions twice a day. They put out a list. But yeah, you know, guest posts, niche edits, haro. These are kind of the bread and butter for SEO. There's no like magical type of link. There's no single type of link you need to be looking for that's going to fix all your problems. You want real links from real sites and editorial type articles that are related to your topic. We usually do about a 50-50 mix of guest posts and niche edits. Then haro is kind of its own thing that you can have a VA working on, or you can do yourself if you want for free. Yeah, that's what you want to do to raise your site's authority. And you're going to want to do, since your DR is still really low, you're going to want to do mostly links to your homepage for now, and you're going to want to use a lot of natural anchors for now. So that means branded anchors, URL anchors, generic anchors, like click here. You can even do some like long tail, kind of like topical anchors, which kind of mention some of the things that your website's about, but not a keyword term per se. And what you're going to want to stay away from at this point are like exact match anchors. You could maybe do some partial match from here, every now and then. But for now, especially when your DR is really low and you're just getting going, really natural anchor text to your homepage is going to be what you want. Do you have anything to add on this, Nick?
Just that I would advise maybe checking out our post on what is link diversity for SEO. Might give you some ideas and some tips in there to get started.
For sure. And we also have a bunch of other videos on the channel as well. If you want to look up, like, if you just go to our YouTube channel, because we've answered so many questions on YouTube now, that if you use the search bar in our YouTube channel, you can pretty much find like anything. It's insane, like how many videos we have on here now. Just these little random questions. So if you just search for like anchor text or anchor text diversity, or a really good one is if you search on our channel for like building links to a new website, or how do I raise my authority, or something like that, you'll find a bunch of other videos on it as well. And then yeah, if you got any other questions, let us know. What are your thoughts on GSA software? Stay away from it. Especially for you, Alexis, yes, stay away from it. GSA, the only way we can really recommend doing these automated link building tools, the only people we can recommend use them are advanced black hat SEOs who know what they're doing. And so they wouldn't be asking what we think anyway. They would just be doing their own thing that they know how to do. And it's a completely different game, what these people are doing. But what most people that use this stuff do is they don't really know what they're doing. They say, I don't want to spend money on link building. Here's a way to get a bunch of links really cheap. And then they spam their sites, and then their sites go like this. Boom. And then they think, well, SEO is not for me, and I'm going to go back to my J job, like we were talking about in your previous question. Yeah, we were saying like 95% SEO failure rate as far as new people getting into SEO kind of quitting after a pretty short time.
Yeah.
You got anything to add on that, Nick?
Well, I mean, like, in all honesty, I don't even know if like Mega Black Hats are really using GSA anymore.
Everyone talk about the money robot now.
Yeah, and that's been around a while.
We keep getting questions about it.
I use GSA like, I mean, last time I messed with it would have been like 7-8 years ago probably, and I was using it to try and tiered link to an asset, But I remember even at that time and doing it strategically, like it was already getting popped. It's not like Google can't read back, 3, 4 tiers. And especially with something like GSA, if you're talking about, just getting on Fiverr and ordering a GSA blast, it's just not going to work out for you. Just flat out.
Yeah, you kind of got to know what you're doing, and Google's really going after this stuff. It's just so easy to catch on to a lot of this stuff. It's just so low energy and low quality. Um, that yeah, they just released the latest link spam update in December, um, which is probably just discounting this stuff even further. They're just getting better and better at it. But yeah, if you're watching this video and you think what I'm saying is completely stupid and that anyone should use GSA and that you really have it all figured out, please send us a message, because I'd actually be interested in talking to some people that are into the link spam game, just as far as learning what you guys are up to these days and what's working and what's not. But yeah, as far as newer people in SEO, definitely not something we can recommend doing at all. So even though I'm curious about it, disregard my curiosity. Focus on learning the basics. Focus on building something that's not going to blow up after a couple months. This is where you're going to get the most learning done. And yeah, hopefully you'll actually make some money out of SEO and not waste all your time and go end up having to do something else instead. Because it's definitely easy, to make money in SEO. You just got to stick with it and actually learn it. And yeah, so stick to the fundamentals for now. Stay away from the anything automated really. Automated content, stay away from as a beginner. Automated link building, really stay away from as a beginner. And just really focus on, creating a basic site, writing good content that fulfills search intent and helps users, figuring out how to optimize that article, on-site SEO, figuring out any technical SEO glitches, and yeah, figuring out how to build quality backlinks. And a lot of people, all the stuff that I named at first is normally easier. And then when they get to link building, they kind of get stuck because they're like, wait, now I have to reach out to thousands of websites with emails and try to convince them to get a link to my website. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. And that's where people like our company come into play, right? We're a link building agency, and that's what we do all day. But yeah, a lot of people end up trying to get it for cheap with GSA and tanking their sites. But you can also do link building for cheaper than going through an agency like ourselves if you have a lot of time, right? Haro, for example, is free, takes time. Guest post and niche edits going to take a lot more time than Haro, and it's basically a numbers game, right? And at the end of the day, you're still going to have to pay for most of those links anyway, because it's 2023 and people don't like giving away links for free anymore, even if you're writing great content on their site, or if your web page that you want to be linked to makes a great addition to their article, for a niche ad or whatever. Most of the time, you're still going to have to pay, but it would be cheaper than going through an agency. Just it's going to take a lot more time. But yeah, hopefully that helps. What's up?
Well, just another thing, if you're asking this question, a lot of times people looking into little hacks like GSA or cheap link building blasts, etc., it's because they've got budget constraints early on, or they're trying to do things, quote, cheap, right? Trust me when I say that when I started, I was doing the exact same thing, and it ended up costing me a lot more money in the long run. And not only money, but time and energy, because ultimately what you'll come to find is doing things this way without like a very kind of hard-lined education on how to use spam strategically is just a recipe for disaster. And yeah, it's typically better to spend a little more, either money or time and energy, to get the higher quality stuff that is going to have longevity in the SERPs. And then, especially if you're starting out, and maybe you're doing local or something like that, you don't want to spam out a client side either.
True.
So just, tread lightly.
Yeah, because we had told you to get started. Maybe local is a good option to get started. Definitely don't do this to a client side. Please, for the love of God, don't do it to a client site. Only do it to your own site if you want to take the risk.
And we've definitely seen it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I believe we got one more question. We'll call it here. By the way, hi Pete. Didn't see you over on Facebook. How's it going, man?
What's up, Pete?
All right. Do you,
Pete doesn't miss a show, man. I tell you
we
what,
switch it to
he is
night
a
and he's still
diehard
here, huh?
fan. Respect.
Respect
Yeah.
it, Pete. All right. Do you think Google Stacks provides zero value? So I'll go ahead and be honest. Google Stacks are not something I've ever done. I kind of know what they are, and we basically consider something like this a pillow link. What I mean by pillow link is it's kind of these like very I'm not going to say low quality, but it's basically like user generated content, right? It's links that anybody can go and create for free, usually on someone else's website. This can be like Web 2.0s, can be like citations, can be like blog comments and forum comments. Although I like blog comments and forum comments. I think they're like the king of pillow links if you get good ones. You can even do things like social profiles, but social profiles are actually super important. But it's normally things sites do in the very beginning of the ranking process. They go set up their Facebook, they set up their YouTube, they set up on all these other social websites and just make a profile and take their brand name, that kind of thing. So yeah, these are all pillow links. Anybody can go and make them if you got some time. They're very easy to make. They normally don't really push your rankings forward, but what they do is they basically say, Google, look, we're doing all of these things that regular businesses do. And in addition to doing things that regular businesses do, we're also getting kind of like these links kind of just coming in from everywhere, which is what happens to normal websites. They don't just get a 100% guest post, right? They've got all of these other types of links that are kind of just scattered around everywhere, and it's just what happens naturally. And so, when we talk about the concept of link diversity, pillow links are extremely important. So I can't say that Google Stacks provides zero value, but what I can say is that it's a very low cost type of pillow link. Anyone can go and make them. I wouldn't expect them to do much for your rankings, but they can add a little diversity into things. They can make things kind of look a little natural. And but yeah, you don't want to do like just Google Stacks. You could go do a bunch of like other stuff as well. All these other types of pillow links, especially social profiles. And yeah, so yeah, not low value, or not zero value, but low value. But also, all these types of links are also necessary in a way. But yeah, low value. Anything to add on that, Nick?
Yeah. No, I think that's about it. I mean, like, you can't say that there's zero value,
Yeah.
but are they going to move the needle in the SERPs? Not really. It's just for painting the foundational picture, so to speak.
And then Alexa says, do we offer an SEO course? No, we do not offer a course at the moment. We're just giving away everything for free. So yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. We appreciate it. Other places you can catch us is our Facebook group. We're on Facebook. If you search for Sir Links-a-Lot SEO Roundtable for Facebook groups, you'll find us. We're in there every single day posting tips and answering questions. What else we got? We got our email list. Definitely subscribe to our email list on our website. Stay up to date with like sales and new stuff we got coming. I'll just plug it one more time.
Case studies.
Case studies. We got our case studies. Definitely go to check out our case studies. They should help learn quite a bit. And we've got a cool podcast coming out tomorrow with Kyle Roof, the man, the myth, the legend. We talk about EEAT and not getting algorithmic penalties. We talk about ranking trash content and just dominating people with junk. And we talk about the future of SEO as AI comes onto the scene. And yeah, we asked them a bunch of cool stuff. So hopefully people enjoy the podcast that's getting dropped tomorrow.
It was an exciting podcast.
What else can they learn from us,
I'm
Nick?
excited for it to
We got our email list. We got.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, yeah, we have a course. It's just kind of all over the place within posts, within videos, etc. But it's all free.
It's not super organized. We do have the channels split up into like
Yeah.
categories and whatnot. But what you could do is you're learning, and if you have a question about something, and you could just go to our YouTube channel first and just go type in the search bar. So you're searching only our YouTube channel and just type in, if you wanted to see like affiliate, or you wanted to type in, 301 redirect, or you wanted to type in pillow links or niche edits or guest posts, just type one of those things in and you'll get like 50 videos for each one, because we've just answered so many questions about them at this point. So it'll be a great resource if you just proactively use that little search bar in there.
We're going on like what, 2 years of videos now?
Something like that, yeah, 2 or 3.
right?
It's
Yeah.
funny to see the ones in the very beginning because we're in the
Yeah.
actual physical studio and it's kind
Studio.
of like dark and
Yeah.
we're in the same room and we got that green little sign behind us and everything.
Sometimes drinking a little whiskey. We had a little a little bar there and stuff.
Which
Yeah.
another thing, we're planning on doing an SEO podcast, or we're hoping to get this done. I can't really say too much about it, but we're hoping to have a
I was gonna
special
say
guest on
maybe
where we just do, we kind of do a good amount of drinking with each other and just talk about some kind of a little bit more off the wall stuff that doesn't normally get talked about on an SEO podcast.
yeah, we're looking to have some fun
Yeah,
again.
I'm kind of excited about that one.
Yeah, same.
And yeah, hopefully you guys will like the guest as well. He's a fun guy. Um, but yeah, I think that's it for the show today, guys. You're welcome, Alexis. Hopefully, everyone else, we answered your question, gave you some value. Like always, like, comment, subscribe. Also, join us in Facebook group, SEO Roundtable. We're in there every single day. Yada, yada, yada. And yeah, we'll see you next week. And the stream's going to be in the evening again for the next like 3 weeks or so, because I'm in Vietnam. If you missed the beginning of the show, apparently sharks are eating the internet cables out here, so the internet gets really, really bad later in the day. So yeah, we're doing evening American time streams. They'll probably be either 10 p.m. or a little bit earlier, maybe 9 p.m. or 8 p.m., depending on Nick's schedule for the next few weeks. And
Probably the more I think about it, it's probably gonna probably stick it to 10.
10, okay, yeah, it's up to you
Yeah,
really.
probably.
But yeah, we'll make a post on the YouTube channel and we'll make a post in the group and everything, just so you guys are aware of the time. And yeah, hope to see you next week. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye bye.
Later.
You're welcome, Amar.